Hey folks, Dalkin here for the Equestrian Broadcasting Company. Welcome to the first episode of Hay Fries and Horse Apples. Now, there are a couple things I wanted to append to the beginning of this episode before we get you on to the actual talk. First of all, I wanted to advise our audience that this is not a family-friendly podcast. That is to say that heavy language and explicit content warnings do apply here. So viewer discretion is advised. Second, unfortunately, the software I was using to record did not capture the entire screen for this episode, so some of the stuff we're showing off got cut off during this episode. I did get it fixed for future episodes, though, so we're going to be good. For this episode, if you do want to see the entirety of the fan art we featured, I do have links that we put into the show notes for this episode. So you can go ahead and just check that out in the video description. I'll have a link to the show notes there, and that will have links to all of that art, and you'll be able to go ahead and check it out at the original source there. In any case, I'm going to get you on to the actual episode now, so thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Hay Fries and Horse Apples. Catch you around. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Hay Fries and Horse Apples, the Equestrian Broadcasting Company's official My Little Pony podcast, where we talk about My Little Pony and fan things and make fun of drama and all sorts of things like that.
That's how we roll around here.
Very much so.
I am Dalkin Starbine. I executive produce for the Follow Equestria radio play. I also do a lot of voices for various things in the fandom and outside of the fandom. And with me today is Exlerb, who is our casting director for the Follow Equestria radio play.
Hello.
Mr. Shoebox, who is our general gopher.
Executive assistant, yeah.
Yes.
What's going on?
General gopher better. I imagine a gopher with a starred helmet on. It's fine.
Yep.
Sounds right to me. Yep.
What's going on, dudes?
Nolan, who is a VA. And does that sort of stuff. And LD, who is our writing director for the Follow Equestria radio play, among other things.
Thank you for inviting me. I believe I'm a guest this time around.
Yeah, well, normally what we'd like to do is we have basically 4 host slots, and then the 5th slot for discussion would be reserved for guests if/when we manage to get guests on the show.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Yes. Since I am notoriously bad at anything that goes online, hopefully I managed to hold my composure a bit. This is usually why I don't often do podcasts.
Yeah.
So hello, everyone.
But that's half the fun.
Look forward to it.
Yep.
So,
He's done some films he's not proud of.
Okay. Hear about that later.
Oh, yes.
So, we're not streaming this first episode, as I told the guys here in the pre-show, but we're looking at hopefully doing that in the future, whether it's going to be on the next episode or somewhere down along the line, I don't know. But for now, we're just recording it, and then if you want to leave feedback here on YouTube in the comments section, later on, we might do a segment replying to your commentary. I'll also drop my EBC email, so if you want to leave fan mail in that form, we'll try to reply to it that way as well. For right now, our first segment for the talk is going to be about episodes. And
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do
this is
this
going
week's or
to
last
be-
week's too?
Yeah. So this is going to be a weekly show. So normally, if I had been more on the ball, we would have started a week earlier so that we could have responded directly to the season premiere by itself. But so basically what we're doing this week is we're going to be going over the season premiere, and then we're going to be going over this week's episode. We're actually recording today. It's Sunday, April 3rd, 2016. So we'll be responding to the season premiere and then the episode of The Gift of Maud. So on that note, let's just jump right into that discussion. Season premiere. Crazy things happen. There was
And there was a mutant baby. There was an evil, tiny, bug-eyed mutant baby alicorn freak, and it was the most horrifying thing I think I've ever seen in animation. When you see a baby creature of any kind, you should not think. You should be thinking, "Oh, it's adorable." You should not be thinking, "Oh God, kill it with fire."
I mean, okay, Flirty Heart didn't horrify me in that fashion.
You have balls of steel.
You lie.
I know that a lot of people, and certainly members of this panel of hosts, certainly likens Flurry Heart to an abomination on par with John Carpenter's The Thing. But
no, it was Eraserhead, baby. It was worse. It was that thing from Eraserhead.
I didn't mind her. I didn't particularly care for her, but I thought she was cute enough.
The thing had more credibility. You were meant to be scared of that. This thing was Lethal Weapon's great cute, but all the wrong ways. So you're looking at this kind of going, oh, that's a cute baby. Get the hell away from me right now. I don't want to hug that. I don't want to smell that. Go away.
I disagree. I thought Flurry Heart was just cute as ever.
So, what I liked about Flurry Heart was, and when I was talking to LD about this the other day, the way that he put it, which is my favorite way of referring to her now, is Flurry Heart, Destroyer of Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a related image for that also when we present media.
She was just like, she would sneeze, and she would just puncture a hole in the castle. It was just like it was tissue paper.
She reminded me of crap. It was Fairly Odd Parents. She reminded me of Pooh.
Yeah, the baby. Yeah.
Yes.
But in Fairly Odd Parents, that they were the main characters, and Cadence and Shining Armor are just side characters.
Thank
really.
Christ. No,
I
So it's not exactly the same thing. Obviously, you get the whole baby thing going, but it's not exactly the same situation here.
Yeah, well, what kind of got me about that too was up until like right before they started to evacuate the city.
Mm-hmm.
No one seemed to notice the fact that there were these searing beams of light just punching holes through the castle at random.
It was totally normal. It's like, this is normal for us. We're used to this stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
A little.
And then when they do notice, it's like, oh hey, it's fireworks.
Yay!
What's up, dudes?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
It's just
the
like
world.
they must either the national food crop of the Crystal Empire must be some major weed. I tell you that much. If they can be that zen about the friggin' apocalypse. All joking aside, though, I do think, and this was what I got from the first two episodes, they're finally getting. They seem to know what they're doing with Spike, because I think he was very well written in this episode.
I agree. He had a weird moment where it was kind of going, because you could just tell he was almost an antagonist to Starlight Glimmer, because you just needed to fill that I can't do anything right role. But then as we go into part 2, he turned it around, and I'm like, wow. For someone who reminded me of Twilight from season 1, Spike was the perfect foil in the environment. And yes, there was a lot of play off of Sunburst, but he was there to really just say just exactly what needed to be said and then nothing else. And then the characterization and the script really made more sense as it flowed forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought he was far on point this episode. He was definitely at his best. Usually when they try and make Spike the center of his own episodes, he tends to flounder quite a bit. And I really like. I didn't know I wanted that dynamic between Starlight and Spike, and I definitely know more than a few people that feel the same way.
It did feel very good to see that transition, because Twilight's at the point where she doesn't really need him anymore. That she's really kind of grown beyond what she originally was. And Spike's there, but I think his role as being her number one assistant has kind of been fulfilled to a little bit.
But he still knows her to the point where he gave just a line at the end of the episode that I just really liked, where he pointed out that the way she gave Starlight space was the same way that Celestia taught her, and I thought that was just a very, very nice line, wrapped up the episode very nicely.
Well, because you don't always need to just keep a close eye on someone at all times just because they're new. Sometimes it's good to just let time or experience teach the lesson.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you'd kind of want to keep an eye on Starlight because, as far as we know, just maybe a day or two earlier, she was Kim Jong-un pony.
About that, yeah, it was. Okay, kind of like, it's kind of going, where was Celestia? Where's Luna? Where is no one stopping her from doing this? I'm like, seriously, no one noticed this at all. Ugh.
Yeah, so, what I really liked about this was one of my primary concerns was, well, if Starlight's becoming the student, and more importantly, then Twilight is becoming a mentor, it's really hard to write that and still keep the mentor as a main character.
That's true.
So having it so that they're highlighting what Twilight is still learning from this experience as becoming the teacher and getting into that, it was, I thought, a really brilliant approach to making her that mentor while still keeping her activities interesting enough to the observer to still keep a spotlight on her, at least enough to consider her a main character in the context of this series, which already has, so many main characters.
Oh, yes.
And one other point to consider, too, is that also with Sunset Shimmer as well, who's another student.
Was she Twilight student, or has she become sort of the de facto main character in the Equestria Girls verse?
I feel that just basically because I was thinking about when I was reading some fanfics the other day, and I kind of going, getting her back into the actual world just doesn't make a lot of sense, because if she goes back, she's really lost, because the connection she has with the girls in the Equestria Girls universe are not there in Equestria itself. So she'd be going back and talking to them like, what are you talking about? We have no idea who you are. And all they would have is Twilight stories to go on. Not a bad thing, but it's just, it would be very, very, very awkward at the outset.
Well, the thing is there, too, is just Sunset was never intended to be a character for the show. She was always a character for Equestria Girls, and I'm pretty sure that's what she'll always be.
Indeed.
Yeah, at the most, she might show up in the My Little Pony movie.
Or possibly in the background.
I don't expect her to show up in the show, and as much as I love Sunset as a character, I don't expect her to show up in the show.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I think putting her in, if it were just for fan service, it would be awkward. Getting her in any fashion it would have to be very, very, very well written and make sense. Otherwise, people would kind of go, no. I don't think it'd be very relatable.
That's true, because that as much as we like seeing Sunset grow from when she was this power mad diva in the first movie to where she's ultimately come full circle and accepted responsibility as sort of being the Twilight Sparkle of their world, is we can understand that if you were to just simply throw her back into the main show, it would be a very different dynamic, and plus I think she would have this fish out of water type feeling.
So it'd be like the reverse of what Twilight had when she entered the human world.
Exactly. It would be a case of, wait, I'm from this place, I know there's magic, I know how this world works, and yet I don't know how it works.
I miss having thumbs.
Or I'll just pick it up with my hand. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
don't have hands
now.
anymore. How do these even work? Like weird stubby things on my... No, I can't even.
Which is a good question. Which is a very good question. I don't think a lot of the ponies have actual hooves. They just have nubs.
Although it was rather interesting, though, as part of the episode, though, was what the problem was as far as what they had to overcome. That wasn't a monster from 1,000 years ago. It was just the weather.
Well, granted, it's intense, like super weather that, apparently even the Pegasi can't tame.
Yeah,
and the reasons for that, who knows if they'll explore that in this season or ever. But
well, when I was live tweeting about it, I'm just kind of going, now wait a second. I thought that all had to do with Sombra's influence, and of course, Cadence explained it away, but I'm kind of going, hold on a minute. Why has no one done anything about this at all? If you knew this was going to happen, doesn't anyone have some sort of counterspell? I mean, you have a library with billions of books, and you can't have anything that you use against this?
You have a guy living like 2 doors. You know a guy who... Oh, you know a guy now who is a living... Who probably knows more about magic than Twilight Sparkle does. Probably. Mm-hmm. And that's another little minor rant here.
Oh.
Uh-oh. I will never, ever, ever, ever like Starlight Glimmer. I know I'm going to get crap for this, but I do have methods to my madness.
Explain this one. I got to hear
terrible. Just poor form, shoot.
Okay, so with Sunset Shimmer, and with Discord, and with most of the other reformed villains, people actually treated them suspiciously. Even Luna, people ran in fear from her. They were like, "Oh, holy crap, it's you! We're gonna fuck off."
Right.
But with Starlight, I feel she seems to be going out of her way to avoid responsibility for her actions. I think it would have really helped me like her or feel like she earned it if someone, maybe Spike, had just gone, hey Starlight, remember when you enslaved that village? Starlight, do you remember that? That was fun. Did you tell your friend about that? Did you tell him? That was cool. You enslaved a village.
True,
actually,
but then again, that's not something you really want to remind people of, especially even in social situations.
But the cynic, and it doesn't help that the cynic in me, the cynic that is me, believes that it wasn't necessarily, it was for the same reason that they farted out, that the writers and Hasbro farted out the mutant baby, because they wanted another twee little good character, not good character, but good morality-wise, to make a toy out of, because apparently we can't have bad guy toys.
It's a show, but at the same time, in reality, you can't really go, hey, remember when you did that bad thing? Hey, remember when you went to prison for doing that thing? Hey, because people would say, you know what? Leave.
Yeah. I mean, re bad guy toys, I have to shoot that down because, especially like Nightmare Moon, for example, she has quite a few toys. She has a really badass toy
I've got a figure right
Guardians of Harmony line.
But is there a T-Rex toy? Is there? Is there a
No.
nightmare? Is there a Sombra toy?
I'm just saying you can't say there are no villain toys.
There
when that's
are
not the
relatively
case.
You have
few
toys.
villain
Also,
toys.
there was a bit at the end of the episode. I'm not sure everyone noticed. When
I
they were-
noticed.
Yes,
Yeah,
when
I
they were.
noticed. I
when
noticed.
Would this constitute a spoiler? Not really, because it was last week.
That
So,
thing.
so when they were leaving the Crystal Empire, a little black changeling dot could be seen flying towards them. So, season finale,
surprised.
possibly.
Maybe.
That might have been the changeling invited to.
The wedding. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, it was Kevin.
I doubt
Yeah,
it.
it was
He was
Kevin.
just there for
Yeah.
the food.
I
Now,
want to back up a bit and address Shu's bit about how
Yes.
Spike should have, at least allegedly, should have elbow jabbed Starlight with the whole "oh my god, you enslaved a village and almost destroyed the world with time travel" thing.
Not Spike.
That speaks, especially the fact that he didn't do that. I want to point out that this speaks more to Spike's character and Twilight's character, for that matter, than it does to Starlight's character. Because they are exemplars. And
Exactly.
I want to,
Exactly.
I want to emphasize this. They show how to better the world by not stooping down to that level. Whether or not, pointing that out and, tossing people in dungeons or whatever, whether or not that would be considered fair, is kind of beside the point.
Yeah.
The point with that is that, instead of going for an eye for an eye, or even just, you did a bad thing, so you have to go to jail now, which, some of the characters, they do get locked up because it's pretty clear that they aren't going to turn their lives around. But with the characters that have displayed that they are willing to do that, instead of tossing them in jail anyway, or instead of, blowing them into oblivion or whatever, they are given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And, maybe they don't necessarily own up to that, and go parading around going, hey, so yeah, I enslaved a village and, almost destroyed the world 16 times.
They also
over.
kind of did that in the Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks movie, and I remember it got a little grating after a while, having everyone just point that thing out constantly.
But in
that's
the episode, in the season premiere, okay, they address exactly why Starlight doesn't do that, which is a very human, normal reaction, which is, hey, I did some bad shit and I'm ashamed of it. Of course she's not gonna talk about it.
Precisely. Getting back on your point there, Dalton.
She doesn't want her friend to be disappointed in her.
Yeah,
and by the way, Sunburst had the same problem.
Sunburst didn't go nuts. But you have a good point.
He didn't go evil, but it was the same thing. He didn't want Starlight to be disappointed in him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the
technically,
point of this whole
the time travel
interaction.
thing never happened.
Okay,
that's true.
I think I would feel. Okay, I don't want her. I want to on record. I don't want her locked up or put in jail or blown up or whatever it is. I do want at least some minor acknowledgement that she did do something that she is trying to reform from. And yes, she did talk to Sunburst about it, and they had a big old heart-to-heart. But...
They did have an acknowledgement for that.
Yes.
That was in the previous season finale.
For 4 seconds, for a 3-minute montage, though. No, less than that. For a 1.5 minute montage.
But when you come to the season premiere, they didn't really give the appearance that they were friends. It seemed more like they were just tolerating her. The only and they even stated in the episode she has 3 friends: Spike, Twilight, and Sunburst now.
Yeah. Well,
and I'd like to remind everyone that they've done this many times before in the show, where they have presented the idea at the end, and they would, like with Twilight flying at the end, everyone was like, "Oh my God, she can't fly! She just got her wings."
Yeah.
What I'm assuming they're going to do is they're probably going to have an episode where they get to know each other. She gets to know each of them individually. That's what I'm assuming.
That makes sense. So, something that you said, Dalton, that really kind of resonated with me, and I had a second point to it, is it actually pointed to the strength that Twilight and Spike have had over their times growing and learning these lessons, having to deal with Nightmare Wind, having to deal with Tariq, having to deal with Discord. They showed that there is nothing to gain by exposing what that person did that was bad. Everyone basically already knows it, especially the people that were in our town. They already know what happened. Spreading that out elsewhere doesn't help their reputation, and it doesn't help Starlight any. It was a very good way of showing Starlight the mercy she needed to make her more relatable. Because if she just came in off of the, I was ready to take over the world because I was sad one day, and that's basically what it came down to. There was a very good short fic written about that case, basically called "That's It," and it was quick to the point, blunt, but it made sense. It was just the right thing to do in that situation. I think, drag it out and talk about it, it would have been really clumsy. It would have worked in a more adult-themed environment. I just don't think it would work well in the show.
Yeah, well, and it comes back to what I mentioned about the characters, and especially Twilight being exemplars.
Yeah, I know we were definitely talking about
it's the same reason why they don't bring up Luna and Nightmare Moon.
And
she's been the only one that's brought it up.
A lot of the themes in the show, which have to do with the whole "friendship is magic" tagline, is that bringing in compassion and understanding, even would be fair and understandable not to in a situation, will do that much more to make the world as a whole a better place.
Very true. Yeah. And also is that if a villain admits to what they have done wrong, and they know that that they have done something that is wrong or an error, then you're giving them a chance to correct it, or rather saying, "Look, I know that you did this horrible thing, but we can move on. That's happened. That's not what you're going to do today."
Exactly.
Yeah. And
exactly.
I mean, yes, it's a fairy tale scenario, but the show is a fairy tale.
Exactly.
Let's get our parameters set here.
Yeah,
we have to have
this
this
people
understanding.
will say that, well, in the real world, Starlight would have this done to her, Luna would have this done to her. Yes, but you have to remember, we're not dealing with our world. We're dealing with their world, their rules.
But thanks, Celestia, for that, because it would be, I can't imagine having to have the exact parallels from how we would handle things. I think that's one of the magics of the show. That's what keeps it interesting 6 years out, is that it gives us that kind of going, wait a minute, why are we laughing and finding fun in this and not seeing what's deeper in this, and then going on in our day-to-day and just, not even showing what we've learned, even in the half-hour exposure. I mean, it's just simple stuff that you could go...
And also, bear in mind, Spike as well. Spike, remember with Secret of My Excess, he was a rampaging dragon. I don't see anybody calling for the hanging of Spike.
No.
They just say that, he's a dragon, it's a thing that we're going to have to deal with. We'll deal with it.
It's idealism, but at its best, because it connects those ideals with reality in a way that you can see through that bridge how to bring your reality closer to those ideals.
It's the best case scenario in all situations.
That's the best way to have a moral based show, in my personal opinion.
Yes.
Anyway, we should probably move on to The Gift of Maud.
Ah, yes, the good one.
Maud is scary. And how she could just sit there and just have no expression and be the freakiest pony. I'm so funny. I'm really frightened of Maud Paw right now. I have to give Ingrid Nilsson big props, because if you listen to what she was in Season 5, Season 6, she has just absolutely nailed that character. Her intonation was just dead flat. And that takes a lot of skill.
Yeah, the dry humor on Maud, I've not seen very many characters who are built on that just super dry, monotone type of humor done as well as Maud. Just, like the friggin' Pie Sisters Exchange Day song. I forget the actual title of it, but
it was a Pie Sisters Exchange Day song.
That was it. Yeah, the whole one verse. Another Danny English special.
I think it was Pie Sisters Swap Day song.
Swap Day song, yeah.
That's what it was. And so Pinkie Pie does the whole little jingle, and then Maud's just like...
Yeah.
Here.
No. Knowing that, what really astounded me about the episode, and I do have this in my notes, which are short because, truth be told, I was also flipping to TMNT for a few minutes there. It didn't act. It was sort of like Gift of the Magi, because that's the title. But I originally thought it was going to be Maud giving up Boulder to get Pinkie Pie something for her cannon, and then the Shuckster pony, who's not really named, I'm going to call him Coin Butt, and then Coin Butt, and then Coin Butt.
I was going to go for Shell Game, but okay, Coin Butt.
Okay, that'll work.
And then Coin Butt gives them it back, or something.
There was no giving. There was fear, just kind of like, okay, just go away, take it out, leave me alone.
And I just... Oh, and I have to say, the face Maud made, she was just... It was like, you could tell that Rarity was just pulling the fear reaction out of her ass. Maud was...
yeah. See, that was the thing, was Maud...
doesn't react at all.
She doesn't visibly react by most people's standards. You know, Pinkie Pie can, of course, understand Maud's subtleties because they're sisters, and so they've been together all their lives.
Yeah, she knows when Maud is happy and Maud is angry and sad, and so forth.
But Rarity being Rarity, all she has to do, and she knows this, is... And clearly Maud knew it, too. Was just played up, which is one of the things that Rarity is the best at.
Absolutely.
I mean, she is the drama queen.
Yeah, she can make you feel as if that, yes, Maud is this bubbling volcano of fury, when you would look at her and you would think she just has a blank expression on her face as ever.
Yeah. Well, and this is this is actually something I learned in my acting class in high school. Was we were told to act off of a chair and make the chair look good, and so this is what I found interesting about this particular scene. Was it was the same principle applied. So Maud was basically the chair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rarity is making Maud look like the most terrifying, malicious, angry chair in existence.
It's painted black.
By the way, Dalkin, was your acting teacher by chance Clint Eastwood just having to react off of an empty chair? I mean, I keep having that. I'm thinking, and here's Clint Eastwood going, okay, now can you give it to me as sad?
I'm going to make you cry.
But it was all about the principle of acting is reacting, is what my acting teacher would always tell us. And so Rarity was reacting to the prospect of Maud being just the most angry entity in all of Equestria, and if you don't give the cannon back for the pouch,
you don't know what
you
she
die.
Do you understand the
fair,
forces
though-
are messing with here? Do you understand what's going to happen? I got connections. I can make a couple of phone calls. You understand? I'm not bringing hell down on you. Mark my words. Have a good day. Click.
I do have
probably
one
do.
thing to say though about Maud though. There was only one time where she had anything that we would probably call a visible reaction, and that
When
was when
Boulder
learning that
vanished.
Pinkie Pie sold the cannon.
Oh.
Then you just heard her voice for just a second go, what?
There was a tiny inflection, like,
Yeah, and
what?
it was just, oh god, you've got a solid visible reaction out of Maud. This is not going to be good.
Also, just with how sleazy that guy was.
Oh,
yeah.
totally.
Like, that scene was so satisfying.
I do have to wonder why the hell he wanted the cannon in the first place, though.
Because
It's a party
his
cannon.
thing.
You
It's-
don't need
it's
a
New
reason
York.
to
You
get
don't
it
have
to
have
want a
reason.
party
It's
cannon.
sellable.
Well, and
Yeah.
the party cannon is clearly worth more monetarily than the pouch. Like, that was the idea they were trying to convey
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
The metal
idea
alone,
that
much less the
I'm
magic
selling
cannon.
you
This-
something
this
that costs
guy-
$10 for something that cost a single dollar.
This guy was
Yeah.
swindling Pinkie because he knew how much she wanted the pouch and that she would give anything for it. And so he was going to get as much out of Pinkie as he could for it.
Yes. The return of the cutthroat merchants.
By the way,
Yes.
show of hands, or, you know,
You can't see our
vocals,
hands.
as
No.
it were.
Yeah, we have no
Um,
hands showing here.
Whose heart broke with Pinkie Pie when she realized that the store was unexpectedly closed?
I actually thought that my heart did break until Pinkie Pie had the little back and forth with the cop.
Yeah, that was the thing
That-
and then you suddenly made it funny again.
Exactly. It was
Well,
sad for
Pinkie
me,
Pie.
but it was sad for me, but I'm kind of going, what state is the equestrian economy in? Can't we go to another store? Where's the websites?
Well,
Didn't you plan this out in advance? Come on, Pinkie, you know everything.
Well, there's only
you didn't
I have
know.
a store called Quills and Sofas that just sells quills and
Two
sofas.
items, and they were
stands.
out of
Only
soap,
sell
they were
two
out of
things.
quills.
Well,
Yes.
and they established the point that this was a specialty shop. What they do is rock pouches, which
Yeah, I'm
is
sure Pinkie
apparently an
Pie's-
economically viable business model
True.
for a little independent shop like that.
Yeah,
But-
I'm sure that Maud, Tree Hugger, and Pinkie all shop from the same specialty shop.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that was crafty there,
But
Shuey.
anyway, my point about that was that we've all been there where it's like,
Oh yeah,
we wanted something really bad, but then, you know, you go to the shop and they're closed or sold out or whatever, and it's just like there's, at
And what
least
you
from what
need
you
is
can
so
tell,
Niche
no
that you could only
alternative.
get it in that one
Well,
place.
we were all
That
that
was your
way.
shot, and it's gone.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
we were that
here-
way until the invention of Amazon.com. But
And
Here's
even
my-
then, Amazon can be sold out.
exactly. Here'd be my reaction. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's just, it's crushing, you know?
Yes.
Because you get all hyped about this, and you know how hyped Pinkie gets. And
There's
we've
no
all,
scale for
we've
Pinkie
all
hype.
been there, you know, where you get so excited about that, and then it doesn't happen.
I swore to God, I originally thought they were going to do a "Don't tase me, bro" joke when Pinkie Pie basically pounced on the cop.
Also, the first shop that they checked, or the first location they checked out for Rarity's
Uh-huh.
new boutique. The
Yeah.
little, like, wedge.
Yeah, the tiniest store in the world. Like, how did you
Storefront.
even get in the door?
I liked how they were just all physically crammed in one spot.
Yep.
It
I
reminded
was
me of the
actually
scene of
wondering what
Sherlock
that
of
was
that,
a
that
reference
tiny
to.
alleyway.
I kept
I
thinking
don't.
it was
I think it's like a. There's got to be some store in Manhattan that's like it's literally like 2 stories high and the length of a hallway, and you walk in and like, what do you want?
Well, there are storefronts like that. I've been into them personally, but they've been, they show them on shows and stuff, and
It's,
my
or-
cousin went to one time, and it was literally just like basically they kind of had the counter on the one side, and pretty much standing in the middle of the shop. The entire shop was within arm's reach.
Rarity could have gone the real New York way, like sell coats out of a coat. Hey, buddy, want to buy
Hey, buddy, you want to buy a coat?
We ain't gotta explain nothing.
Hey, buddy, want to buy this coat? You like this coat?
But it was good to see Manhattan again, though.
It was. I do like the fact that they've definitely started to shift the focus from Ponyville, because we basically have all the stories told there. The world building, I think, is what's going to keep it pushing through the rest of the season, and maybe to season 7 if they do go that route. I hope they do.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not ready to get off the train quite yet.
So,
I could never leave this train. I enjoy it too much.
Every season has one thing that quote unquote ruins it forever for the vocal minority of fans.
At least one thing. I mean, we've had so many just drama bombs in this fandom. It's so fucking hilarious.
Let's save that for when we're discussing the drama, because I'll have a miniature rant of my own since Shu got his
I'm
turn.
looking forward to it.
I had several. Yeah. You guys made fun of me for it. No, I'm kidding.
And there was something I wanted to talk to you about later about what you brought up about Flurry Hurt. It's actually a really good thing that I wanted to discuss later. We can talk about that when we get to the dramas.
Okay. Actually, this is probably a good time to move on to the dramas.
Let's do it.
There's actually one last thing, since nobody mentioned it.
What's that?
Suri Polomare appeared in the background of.
I didn't even know this.
Briefly, yes.
When
she was talking to the cutthroat sleazy merchant pony, whatever. There was a shot of Maud, and behind her, Suri Polomare was dealing with some soccer-looking pony or something.
Nice.
Interesting.
And so
we're gonna call him
another possible
cameo
appearance later. We'll see. I suppose.
Plot.
One thing.
It might be completely unrelated.
One thing I want to address before we go into the drama. It was a minor thing, but it bugged me. When did? Why? Okay, so the Statue of Liberty in our world was made basically as a giant "Enter Here" sign for immigrants immigrating from wherever to Ellis Island to the United States. So I'm thinking, does this mean that Ponyville had an influx of immigrants, and they built a Statue of Liberty for it? Do they have their own Ellis Island? I mean, where do they immigrate from?
I think the thing with that, because the world itself has never been very strictly defined, that's something where if you really try to nail it down, it's going to raise all sorts of questions like, well, why is he here? Why isn't it there? It's just, one of those things that make you scratch their head.
Clearly they immigrated from the Ponyland discussed in the Hearthswarming Eve episode.
Yes.
Duh.
Yeah, they all came from Pegasopolis.
So that statue was already there then.
Again, I think as the world expands more and we find out more, because there's saddle rabies that I mentioned, there's Griffinson, there's a lot of things that we just can't specify to existing to make sense of what's already there.
Where they were immigrating from Generation 3.
You had the colonist ponies who founded Equestria. Okay, so you had the colonist ponies who founded Equestria, and then the statue was a gift from Prance.
Exactly. I'm cool with that. I approve this headcanon. Noteworthy approved.
Right,
Bam, done.
On to the dramas. This is where we'd also talk about the news, because, normally the news is also where the dramas happen, but...
there hasn't been that much.
I cut out the news segment for this episode, so we'd have more time to have episode discussion, to catch up on that. Also, just because I'm lazy and hate drumming up news bullet points to talk about. So,
I would give props to one convention, Windy City PonyCon. I got some people down there that I'm involved with. Got to give them good props for putting a convention together that quickly. And there was an unfortunate thing where they had lost one of their headliners due to scheduling complications that came up at the last second, and they were scrambling. But from what I've heard, everyone's having a fantastic time. So to everyone at Windy City, great con. Hope you get to do it again. Wish I could have been there, but I had to be here. So.
And it will probably be over by the time you hear this, so greetings from the past.
Likely. Yes.
Yeah. Greetings from the past.
woo!
Yay!
You may be seeing this on some great future screen.
And a week or two, maybe more. We will not know for sure.
So, you guys had stuff you wanted to bring up for the dramas.
Dramas.
Well, this is minor drama. It's I was able to convince my brother to watch about 5 minutes of it, and we had a bit of discussion because he thought, he looked at he looked at Pinkie Pie and he said, "So cocaine exists in this world, right?"
It has to. It must exist in some form. She's a baker, so there you go. It's already the joke writes itself.
And I was like, "No, she's naturally like that," and he got frustrated because he's like, "No one is naturally like that."
Episode was what would make me think that, considering how for a while she was Pinkie. Yeah, considering her bouncing off the walls, that is not a very rarity thing that she does.
But then what happened?
She was imitating Pinkie.
This season seems to be on point with the funny faces.
The fact that
Very
she
much
happens
so.
to be
Oh, the
completely
faces.
white totally doesn't mean that she's actually made out of cocaine.
Oh, that ice cream sundae. Rarity ordered it. I thought Pinkie ordered it. Rarity was like, why did... Yeah, you know giving her sugar is a bad idea. Why are you encouraging her habit?
I just
And
expected
then she
Maud
cried
to go,
into it.
I just expected Maud to go, Sundays aren't soundproof. I can hear you guys.
I was
That's-
more surprised they did that with the menu.
Yeah. That
Because at
was a
least
scene.
with
That
the-
had been seen.
Maybe
Sunday
she could
versus
hear them, but was
Monday,
just
there's
being
no
polite.
mass. But yeah.
Yeah, and
Also,
apparently
they have
made
some
her-
really tall menus.
Yeah, they're always that way because you be able to have to hit your hit the crayon too. Pew.
Welcome to Eddie's Everything is Fucking Edible restaurant. We got everything listed on the menu because everything is edible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The map was nice. What about actually with the point you brought up, and this is a good drama thing. With all these one-shot introduced characters, I gotta question the relevance. I mean, why go through, aside from toy development, why go through all the work to come up with a character design, implement it, get it in the show, and then never feature it again? I don't get that. That to me, from a writer's perspective, I don't understand why you would do that. I don't
I'm
wanna
sorry.
speak to that.
Could you repeat that? I was completely zoned out.
I got nothing, Nolan.
Got nothing? Doc,
I
any
had
thoughts?
zero.
Reiterate, LD missed it.
Yes,
Okay.
I was
Basically,
completely zoned out.
I
Okay,
may
the-
have missed part of it too.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. The long and short is, I'm just confused as, why introduce Flurry Heart? Why introduce all these characters that we never see again? I don't get the relevance of it.
Just sell toys.
Well,
Well, beyond that,
there's the
I
obvious
think it's
one.
pretty clear that we're going to be seeing Flurry Heart again.
Yes.
Oh yes, and I'm sure that she will be very important. come the
Television
finale.
is definitely written differently than movies. So from
Or
season to
fanfics.
season, you'll often see these kind of things. You don't always have the benefit, unfortunately, of having something completely Christ, what's the word? Just solidly built up and just cleanly finishes without like introducing a whole bunch of irrelevant side plots. Unfortunately, My Little Pony has gone this way a little bit. I doubt
Yeah,
that
it's the same way as to why
It's a
Tyrion
product of
hasn't
the
shown up
factor,
again.
so
into the series finale whenever that wraps up.
Yeah,
you can't deny that the toy sales are definitely a factor. I wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, not just the toy sales, just merchandise sales in general. Like
that's
Hasbro's making
that's why they
that's
why they wanted the show made in the first place.
I'm genuinely waiting for the time we see My Little Pony the Flamethrower.
Because I mean, we've in addition to the toys, you've got all of us buying T-shirts and all that fun stuff too.
Yeah,
vinyl figures.
I have a Rainbow plushie on my head, Rainbow Dash plushie on my head right now. But all I know is this: when they do make a Flurry Heart toy, I'm going to go into a toy store, and I'm not going to ask for a toy. I'm going to look at that shelf, and I'm going to say, "Hey, can you hand me a Flurry Heart effigy?"
Okay, then.
You might get a few odd looks from that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, people would look at you straight, especially parents. It's kind of like, you're already creepy enough, and what did you just say?
I'm on
it. Some people say, you're one of those bronies.
Some people take My Little Pony very, very seriously. I don't think you understand, store clerk. Very seriously.
Yes.
There has been blood. You could go. There has been blood spilled, Mr. Store Clerk.
You don't understand how important my ponies are to me.
Wars have been fought, lands have emerged.
There's your little pony, and this is my little pony.
I do have personally a slight concern. Less so with these first couple episodes, but just knowing that a lot of the senior writers
they're dropping like flies.
Season.
Yeah. AKR is gone, Larson's gone. I mean, who else is off the writing stuff?
M.A. Larson has left.
Isn't M.A. Larson working on the movie or something?
I think so.
I don't think so.
No, that's Jason Thiessen.
That's
M.A. Larson is writing his books.
But I'm that is concerning. But from what we've seen of the New Blood, the Fox brothers who wrote this episode, they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I would totally trust
so
them.
far, and so I'm feeling better about it than I was before the season started airing.
I would say my only reference to this
but
episode
one
was...
of my primary concerns is about continuity, because the writers who have been on the show for a long time, they may have had stuff that they set up for continuity that they didn't necessarily get written down in any kind of shared team resources.
I would hope that would have happened. I mean, I think writing was done like a couple of months ago, because obviously you had to go to production after that. So I would hope by now, 6 seasons in there's a bit of notes being traded, because if not, it will become very, very blatantly obvious, and they're going to lose viewership.
I'm sure there's some, but my concern is, like, to what degree? Because and I'd have to reread the Journal of the Two Sisters to recall for sure, but it seemed to me like Amy Rogers had the idea that Luna and Celestia had actually been born as alicorns.
Well, I have a minor.
This new episode totally tossed that out the window. Apparently, they earned their wings too, which is fine. In fact, I kind of like that idea better. That being an alicorn is an earned thing. Period. Except now with Flurry Heart, because now it's
is the
like
one that was born.
Or
Alicorn
consider
pony
this.
Jesus.
Celestia said that no, that thing's the Antichrist. That thing is the Antichrist. I think but Celestia said it's the only thing Equestria had never seen, and from what we know, the land wasn't always called Equestria. So this might be a complete ass pull, but hear me out. They might have been born alicorns, but they weren't born in Equestria.
Well, yeah, at least according to the journal, they weren't, because they were born before Equestria existed. So you do have kind of a point there. But the implication seemed to be that, this kind of thing had never happened before. Now, I'm sure that we'll see where they're going with that by the finale, if nothing else. But it does raised concerns about what other stuff in continuity might get dropped or flubbed or whatever.
Well, on that point, I wouldn't want to give the new writers so much notes that they're kind of hamstrung into basically following. Okay, follow this formula or else. The worst thing to do to a new writer is they have to do it this specific way.
That's the thing is I'm waiting to see what else we have this season, because I don't want to be unfairly critical of them either.
And that's the only thing
we still have writers on the show who have been on for at least a season or two.
Yeah.
So it's not like the entire writing staff for season 6 was new for season 6.
Right.
I'm not gonna be running around like a chicken with its head cut off, going, "Oh my god, the show's gonna die!"
Yeah,
actually,
I'm not at that point just
New
yet.
Blood is what keeps the show going.
Exactly.
After a while, I'm sure even Megan McCarthy would be, "Oh God, I can't think. I cannot plot."
Exactly. Yeah, there just comes a point in time where you literally hit your saturation point and you run out of things to talk about. At that point, you either need to reevaluate or go, okay, I need to talk to someone else that doesn't have all these ideas in their head and come up with something new.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is that's hilariously what drives a lot of this, stupid, pointless fandom drama is basically a mindset of new equals bad.
Well, people just don't change
totally not
regardless
the
of what form it
case.
comes in. Yeah, people just don't like change. They just don't like it, even if it's the best thing that could happen. I mean,
Derpygate,
episode
Cadence,
100.
Shining Armor,
Twilight getting her wings,
Corn, all of that.
We were recounting all the fandom dramas the other night, Dalkin. As you just mentioned, there's Derpygate, Shining Armor, and Cadence, the infamous toy princess.
Yes.
The Twilight Corn, that was a big one.
We're still joking about that 2 seasons later.
Oh yes.
That'll never go.
Do not steal.
Don't steal the big thing.
Bad fandom OC.
Defense,
as a villain.
all those reasons, yeah.
So
put that away right now.
Oh yes, the rainbow power forms.
Oh yes,
that was another one.
Taste the rainbow. Yes.
Taste the rainbow, motherfucker. Edit that out, please. We want to sort of keep this family related, not to mature to how much.
But, I don't know, dude. One of the first things I said was implying burning infants, so I think.
Oh yeah. By the way, this show is not G-rated.
Yeah.
All right then. Well,
This is an R-rated fan podcast. I forgot to iterate that at the beginning of the episode.
That would have been helpful for people to know.
Parents, if you're letting your kids listen to this, you go.
I'll probably have to record a side that we can append to the beginning of this before posting it. But yeah, this is.
Thank God for Reddit.
This is not a family-friendly podcast by any means. I mean, our primary production as a production crew is a radio play about a story that takes the ponies into
the post-apocalypse.
And
which literally has
guns.
Has cartoon ponies shooting, fucking, and eating each other.
Mature themes do apply.
That's a good thing, actually. It reminded me of, all the hype that was made of the season 5 finale, where you had them in that wasteland. I'm just kind of like, the artists were just going crazy. I'm like, yes! They finally alluded to it. Thank goodness! It can exist! And then I go, I don't want it to exist. This is kind of creepy because it went from the story, and then all of a sudden we saw, wow, this could actually really happen. This is really kind of foreboding.
So, on that note, I would like to move us onward to our next segment.
Wait, I have not done my miniature rant yet.
Here we go.
We need to move on. I'm sorry.
Yes, we must.
Okay.
We have to keep a lid on how long these episodes go.
Fine. If anyone's interested, maybe another time.
That's what blogs.
Sorry to disappoint. I know everyone was just looking so forward to it. I bet you're all
with bated breath.
But so now we're
sorry to
moving
crush
on
your
to
poor little hearts.
Our next segment, which is our featured fandom media bit, which I might come up with, a neat fancy name for later. But so this is the part where basically we just kind of post up bits that we thought were neat of like fan arts or music or animations, whatever. There we go. That's neat. So since I already have it pulled up and I'm recording on the screen, I'll go ahead and just pull mine up first. It is a piece called Cover Me by Rain Gear on DeviantArt.
Let's look at this here.
And this is, of course, a piece based on Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep?
Holy crap.
And, I really like the detail
wow.
and power.
I would love to
I don't have words for that. That is legitimately really kind of freaky.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I like
gorgeous.
The composition in here is great. Just I could go into full on art school mode right now, but I'm not going to. Mostly due to the fact that we're technically already going over time as is. But yeah, I like the glowy effects. I like the stars. The Tantabus is so freaking creepy.
It is. It's just.
Oh, it is.
And then you've got in the foreground, you've got Luna looking back straight at the camera. Cover me.
Like, this is going to be a thing that I don't come back from.
Pretty much.
Everything about this just makes me go squeak.
Yeah, I created this monster that I can't defeat, so help me out and make sure I don't get killed. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever you say.
All right. So yeah, that's my share for this week. Let's go into shoes. The link for that here. Tell us about this, Shu.
Okay, well, I'm a fan of the movie Kick-Ass. I'm not a fan of the comic because Mark Miller is that's a rant for another day. But I like this pick in particular because it brings back the Power Ponies episode where Spike was the character without any powers, which I thought was which also I think is kind of meaningful because we've seen that pound for pound, Spike is probably one of the when he grows up, when he's in his hulkified, angry, gimme Donald Trump Spike form, he's
all political use of the person's own responsibility.
Okay.
So
okay, he's if not the most dangerous force in Equestria. I think the Alicorns and Teardak and Discord and pretty much have him beat. He's at least in the top 5. He's probably high up in the top 10. Mm-hmm. So seeing him here as Kick-Ass looking sort of forlorn makes me kind of remember that when Spike grows up, he's going to be like Kick-Ass, a true force to be reckoned with. And then he's going to be Quicksilver.
I do like the way they shape-form the suit on here. So, like, even it fits the tail and everything, but then Spike's spines still poke out through the suit and stuff.
Yeah. No wings, which surprises me a little bit, though. I would figure he would eventually grow them as he gets older.
Oh, right, and this was by Bat Lover 800.
Yeah.
Just in credit the art.
Kick-Ass Spike.
And Spike is Kick-Ass.
He is
so
kind of Kick-Ass.
It fits.
All right. Nolan, let's move on to yours.
Well, on a base shoot. I'll just get this out right now so everyone knows I've got a crush on Jada Jinx because she is an amazing and an awesome artist, and we have a wonderful offering here of a drawing she made, based on a webcomic, which I will also link in the chat and hopefully will be linked in the show notes, of a Princess Tempora, and it's yeah, I would recommend reading the comic. Otherwise, the pictures make a lot of sense. But it just, I've seen her grow over the last year, and just every piece of art she does, she's getting better and better and better and better. And I don't really there aren't really words for, what I get out of this piece. I mean, it's just awesome.
That thing is metal.
Yeah. That's probably 10 plus hours of work, and she's actually working on a picture right now. I'm going to talk to her about it in the next week and see if she minds if I share it or not in next week's episode.
Having seen a few other depictions of Princess Tempora, I do have to say I really like her character design. As admittedly kind of ridiculous OCs go, I think her design's really cool.
Yeah.
I like the way that the wings are like kind of the steampunk like aerofoil like wings, but it's got a nice symmetry to it, and it feels really kind of like a spell-crafted kind of Arcanotech type of thing, and
yeah, and the subtle.
I really dig that shit. So.
The subtle nuances of the gears in the background. Once you read the comic, the picture really takes on a whole different level of definition of all the little details she just plunked in there. She does pay what you want streams every so often. I'd recommend hopping on. You will get your money's worth. She is an amazing artist. I can't say enough about her. So that is my awesome thing for the week.
All right, Exler, blink your thing because I don't think you linked it earlier.
Okay, let's see here. I had completely forgotten that this was going to be coming up, but in the meantime, I was actually going to give kind of a break on this, and I just found this. It's called Fox Bros, and recently I have seen the movie Zootopia, and I have fallen in love with it. I thought it was probably one of the best movies ever, and I saw this picture, I immediately thought, yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Okay, well, there's nothing
spoilery.
But
it's not ponies.
Yes, that is true. So, in which case, we will have to completely
this is a pony
over this.
show.
Don't worry, Zlerb. I got you covered.
That's for non-pony.
But, however,
that does look pretty
something
cool.
else here that I do have that I can throw up instead.
I haven't seen Robin Hood in years. That's awesome.
Okay.
And
well,
please
the
next
other thing
time
I will
pay
have to say
attention
that
to the
I
rules
love.
I set forth because I did specify this all ahead of time. Pretty well ahead
true.
of time.
This is a pony show. We talk about colorful horses here. Yeah.
Don't worry, Zlerb. I got you covered. Here, we'll say this is from you. Hold on. It's
Well, my
Spike.
personal favorite would be this one. Yes, Spike.
Okay. Hang on, we'll check.
And
that
then
out.
there's this one, which is
I like the
Discord
second one
by-
better.
Link.
I like the second one better.
I can't do that one, Shu. You didn't give a link for it. I can't bring it up on the show because I can't give a source link if it's not at a link.
Okay, hold on.
Well,
Okay,
one thing I'll say I
that's-
love about this picture, though, is
Anyway,
it just screams,
Exler,
oh, look, it's
please-
Discord of Shumagora.
That's much better.
That is pretty freaking creepy.
That's very
Shumagorath,
creepy.
that's who it was, of the Elder Scrolls.
Yep.
And again, as I said, just the little nuances. They're tucked in the background. And as you go back and look at it, you see something new, and you just kind of go, wow, just a creepy. I mean, the sky, and just looking at this smile, kind of like, hey, what you got? Bring it. I dare you.
Cheese for everyone. Yes.
Yeah, there was actually another Discord I had found before this one that looked amazingly good, but I apparently had lost the link. So
No.
instead, I found that one. Oh, yes, it was so good to look at.
And LP, I know you had something you wanted to show off.
Yes, I have doing a quick change. This is a picture I found by an artist I really like, by the name of Joey Bean, and he recently did something in regards to the season premiere, and here it is.
Is that Joey Bean? He actually is on IDW staff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been compiling something for cons so we can get everything organized. So yeah, we have that. Oh wow, that's cool. I like that.
Wow,
yeah.
That's very cool.
Do you have the artist post page link for this, perchance? I need to be able to put that in the show notes.
Momentarily.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it's a good point. Thinking about that, just seeing the subtle changes with Starlight between the end of season 5 and the beginning of this season, it was almost, for a minute or two, I was taken aback. It's like, who is this pony? Because I didn't recognize her, because you're like, why are you cute? You're evil incarnate. Why are you cutesy?
Well, the thing with Starlight is, even though she was extremely misguided, you could tell by the way she interacted with the students, the kids, the Pegasi during the Rainbow Dash sequence, that she wasn't, even though she was definitely, arguably doing bad things in a way, she was doing it out of a good place, kind of. You could make that argument at least.
That's good too. Oh wow, that's awesome. Thank you, sir. And also, I was thinking about this too. It's something I should have brought up in the discussion earlier. It's kind of like Starlight had a case of the stupid. She knows all these spells. She's got all this figured out. She was able to block Twilight Sparkle, and she can't even figure out a map, like a scrying spell. You can't remember where you are in the castle. How long have you been here? And why are there no maps? I mean, every room looks the exact same. Where are the maps?
Well, I'd be thinking it's the same reason as Castlevania. Why is the castle always different?
I just post up signage.
Yeah, bathroom this way, library here.
Right outside the door. Takes 2
signs
minutes.
above the doors, even. Like, this is the library. This is Spike's room. This is the bathroom. This is the storage closet.
Don't go in here. You don't know I don't even know what's in there, and I don't want to open the door.
At the very least, it would spare Starlight from accidentally opening Spike's bathroom door on a
twice
frequent basis. Yeah. Okay, so we found what Exler. Oh yes, this.
That is absolutely
I love Discord, and I saw this and thought, oh yes.
And
snap.
Future episodes, I'm probably going to try to limit us to one fan feature per person per episode, just to keep things rolling along. But
just the level of detail on the scales and every part of him maintained as best one can be. You got to admire. I mean, the level of artist capacity from when we started to where we are now is it's not even on the same stratosphere. They have constantly said, we can do better, and then they do. And they just blow our minds every single time they put something new out. It's like, wow.
I like the pose here, how it's shown kind of like the Chinese dragon.
Mm-hmm.
It really kind of shows off the anatomy here, and just, because of the way that he spirals around, so that like the lower segment of his body is actually kind of upside down relative to his head, makes it that much creepier.
Well, the thing I find that's really interesting about Discord art is whenever anyone tries to draw him, they either try to play up the fact that he's the trickster or the fact that he's part dragon, and makes him 10 times scarier for some reason.
Very much so.
Yes, he's Q, but he is a dragon in part.
See, I can't necessarily agree with that, because even though the voice hasn't changed much, I still view them as two very distinctly different characters, and how he's been written, and it's just Q for John was a lot more a foil for Patrick Stewart's character. Right here, I think he's just more about, causing trouble because he can, and to hell with what lessons learned here. I mean, it's just about, I want what I want, I'll do what I want to get it. But it comes off in such a way where it doesn't bother you, and it's just so amusing. And also, how can you go wrong with that voice? I mean, seriously, you can't go wrong with John Delancey.
I mean,
very much so.
Admittedly, though, Discord's premise initially was basically Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started out as Q and grew from there.
Like, that actually occurred, admitted by Lauren herself. It's like when she was trying to describe Discord to the producers during the pitch. She's like, "Do you know Q?" And that led to the whole. We should try to get John Delancey for this. So,
have you seen Star Trek at all? No.
Anyway, all right. So let's get things wrapped up here, because we're like 20 minutes over what I wanted to cap us out at.
Go away. No, bad picture. No, I can't. I won't do that.
I'm not clicking on the thing because we
don't have time for it. It's completely safe, but it's not ponies.
We don't have time for it anyway. So
it's not ponies.
Thank you for joining us for our first episode of Hay Fries and Horse Apples.
Oh yes, it was fun.
It was fantastic.
Normally, before this point, we also would have done a fan mail thing. I want to slot for it anyway. So if you guys wind up sending us, fan mail or, asking questions about stuff in YouTube comments and stuff, we'll try to grab all that up and address at least some of it during the show.
Please write us letter.
Yes, don't be shy.
So yeah,
we don't bite much.
Yep, we do not.
Well, I might bite a little bit.
We'll just nibble you a little bit.
I might, but I have had.
Dalkin doesn't bite unless you work for him.
I'm not. I like my job. I'm not going to say anything here. Woo.
So if you do wind up wanting to send fan mail, I am going to try to get a dedicated email set up with our webmaster. But in the meantime, you can send email to Dalkin_Starbine at equestrianbroadcastingcompany.com. I will put that here on the screen.
And if I go on thinking about it, I'll drop my Twitter because I happily take tweets, and that is at Noteworthy with the 3 being an E, with the E being a 3.
Going to for that their lead speak.
So, you can send fan mail for the podcast to that email for now until I get an official one set up for the show. And so you can send that if you have emails for anyone on the show. I will put that up. You can also see Nolan's Twitter here. Might have a more formal segment for individual people's contact information. When I set up an actual legit show notes document that I can link to and the YouTube descriptions for people.
Out of the duck.
But for now, you can check that out. And so for the Equestrian Broadcasting Company, this has been Slurb.
Yes.
Slurb.
Yep, that's me.
Nolan.
It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys today. We should do it again.
It's been awesome.
Very quickly.
It's been awesome. Fun. We must do this again.
LG.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And me, Dalkin Starbine, signing off. Thank you all for joining us.